Hi, it's Pam Raymond from the Save Lynn for Pam Talk, and Suzanne from Spellman Studios is behind the camera. Hi, Suzanne.
Hello, everybody.
She's shy. She's shy. She stays there. And I'm very lucky today to have Al Graf, our Assemblyman, with us. Al, hello. How are you?
How you doing, Pam?
I'm great. I'm always great. I thought it'd be nice to get to know Al a little bit more than just his political. I want him to talk politics because we all have to know what's going on. But I also, he's not really from Long Island. He's got a different background. I thought it'd be fun to hear a little bit more about him. He just told me also a wonderful anecdote about his daughter that I think he should share. So I'm going to let him go. Once you start out talking, there's not a problem. I'll just, when I slug him, it's because our time is up. But Al Graf.
Right. Well, I am originally, I grew up in Farmingdale, which is Long Island. My background is I'm a Navy veteran. I'm a retired New York City police officer. I have a degree in elementary education. I have a law degree. And I moved upstate for a little while with my family. And while I was up there, I became the town supervisor in a small little town. Now, the thing that's nice about a small little town is you become the chief cook and bottle washer. So when it comes to the problems in government and how to solve problems, you don't have a staff to turn to, so you really have to learn government, and you have to learn how to be creative and start bringing things in outside just going after the taxpayers all the time. So that gave me the background there. The story we were just talking about now is my daughter just recently graduated from the New York City Police Academy.
Congratulations.
And, thank you. And 30 days to the day that I got on the police department, she's walking the same beat that I walked when I first graduated from the police academy. So right now she's loving it. She's in Patrol Borough, Manhattan South. And she's, a matter of fact, they're giving her next week, she doesn't know it yet, she requested my shield, my old shield. So they'll be giving her my shield, and she's actually going to walk the streets of New York City with the same shield that I carried.
It's incredible.
Years ago. Some of the other issues, and I know you didn't want to do too much politics, but there's something really important here that we have to let people know about. Okay. And what's happening is electricity. You have no idea how much the cost of electricity, basically how much it's hurting us, and as far as our economy, to get out of the slump that we're in.
Well, as a small businessman, I do. Right.
Well, if you look at it, right now, the town of Islip pays $330,000 a month for electricity. Suffolk County pays $1,779,000 a month. And if I'm not mistaken, Sayville, the school district here, pays $80,000 a month for electricity. So if you think about that, we have to get that cost down. Now you're looking at businesses and you're looking at property owners. If we can cut the electricity for businesses and the schools and the towns and the counties, think of how much money we can save in taxes, and think how businesses can actually grow. So right now what happens is 62% of LIPA's budget is buying electricity. They buy it at 9 cents per kilowatt, and they buy it from New York Power Authority. New York Power Authority also owns the hydro plant, which is in Buffalo. So we've been pounding the governor with petitions since last year to get him on board to bring that hydropower down to us. And we were all shocked because his State of the State address, he announced this new energy highway. But he stops at New York City. So now we have a new petition drive, and if you go into pluglongislandin.com, there's a new petition drive saying that...
Is that all one word? Plug Long Island in?
That's all one word, .com. And there's a petition that goes right to the governor's office. And what we're saying is Long Island wants its exit ramp, or its entrance ramp, onto the super energy highway. And what was funny about this is, in Buffalo, the person that was fighting me on this was a senator up there, a powerful senator. And I was told to back off, and I don't think so. So, him and I actually became friends, and it winds up that he actually has some power plants up there that are privately owned, that there are people that are employed there, and they have nobody to sell the electricity to. So I told him, George, I hear you have power plants up there that you're about to close down because they have nobody selling it. He goes, this is true, Al. I go, great, I'll take it. Right? I need it 6 cents per kilowatt. He goes, oh, Al, you said 9. I said, no, 9 is what I'm paying now. I need it at 6. And he goes, I don't know. So I put my arm around, pulled him in, I said, George, I got faith in you. So I mean, there is this electricity out there, and we have to do something. Long Island, they keep continually looking at Long Island as the piggy bank for the rest of the state. Well, the piggy bank is broken, okay? You sucked all the coins out, and we need some relief. You know, contrary to popular belief, we're not all driving around in Rolls Royces, okay, and sending our kids to the most exorbitant private schools you've ever seen. There are people that are just working.
Catholic schools are closed.
Right. And if you look at it, look, the cost of this, I mean, there's so much relief that's needed. And when I got into this, one of the things I said is, I have 3 kids. And someday I don't want to visit my grandchildren, one in Florida, one in North Carolina, or any place else. I want them to be able to stay here. And the saddest thing I ever heard is when I go out there knocking on doors and I'm talking to people, and I talk about that, they go, and you could see the hurt in their faces that, yes, you know, my grandchild is in Florida, my grandchild is in North Carolina, my grandchild is over here, and I get to see them once a year. And if I'm lucky, I'm talking to them once a month on the phone. You know what? That's part of making our children who they are. I mean, my grandparents were an influence in my life, and they talked about the Depression and the things that they went through, and their life experience was shared with me. And I just think that this next generation doesn't understand, right, what went on during that time.
And they don't even know their own family history, because it's the and they have strangers waiting at home for them. If anybody's at home, they're latchkey kids, a lot of them. When they say that most teen pregnancies and most drugs are consumed between the 8 hours of 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock.
Right.
Because now both parents have to work here.
Well, we have a big drug problem right now, and the oxycodone, we're trying to deal with that right now. And now there's a registry that is going to be tracking the sale of oxycodone, the prescriptions, to try to knock that down. Because what we've been facing, I've done I've defended people. I have kids. I do a lot of things with kids. And what's happening is they use the oxycodone, right, the drug dealers, but it's $60 a pill. And after they get the kid hooked on that, they tell them, look, and they can't find the $60. They're stealing from their parents, they're stealing from their friends, their neighbors, and they can't get the $60 per pill anymore. So they say, listen, you can buy heroin a lot cheaper, and you can snort it. Right? So they're buying heroin, which is cheaper than marijuana. Okay, the kids are snorting it, and then they're getting the same high, and they get them to shoot it up. Once they get them to shoot it up, you're done here. Because, I mean, on the police department, I've dealt with people that were heroin addicts, and in the court system, I've seen people that are heroin addicts. And you know what? That becomes a lifelong addiction. And it's something.
But also, it isn't always you have the image on television that it's somebody scraggly who's 50 years old. That is not true in this day and age. We have it in our high schools. We have it in middle schools some places, and the middle class kids.
You had a Kennedy kid that was locked up in the airport, right, with heroin years ago. You know, and I'll tell you, it's in every neighborhood right now, and it's saddening because I watch these people that, you know, middle-class families that tried to raise their kids the right way and everything else, and, you know, a lot of times people want to blame the parents. It's not the parents. The parents, you can have great parents that are watching their kids and everything else, but the outside influence is coming in. So, you know, that's a real problem.
Peer influence.
So, I mean, look, it's persuasive around our community if you look at it. There's a lot of it going on, and we have to stem that tide. You've had robberies at drugstores and stuff, people trying to get this kind of medication.
Yeah, we had a little wave of it around here.
And you had a couple of people die right in Patchogue. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a problem that we have to deal with. But there are other things coming up too, and if you want, you know, if you keep track of the things that are going on the state level. And the other thing I laugh about is Newsday called me up recently, and they looked and they said, Al, we wanted to reach out to you because you didn't pass one statewide bill this year. And I looked at them and I laughed. I go, that's not true. I go, what do you mean? Or you didn't pass any bills this year. I go, that's not true. They go, what do you mean? I said, I actually have 5 statewide bills that are going through. Right? My name's just not on it. All right? Look, I learned the game in Albany. And in Albany, which it's the most partisan place you've ever been in your life. And you need a Republican in the Senate, and you need a Democrat in the Assembly. But that puts me in a position where I'm like Monty Hall, let's make a deal. So I can actually write a bill, okay, get myself a Republican sponsor in the Senate, which the Democrat in the Assembly can't do. Then after I get that, I hand the bill over to a Democrat that I know up there to push the bill forward with his name on it. There's an old saying by Harry Truman. It's amazing how much you can get done if you don't care who gets the credit. Let me give you a couple quick examples of things that I put through. One was the TVB that's coming down here, Traffic Violations Bureau. Suffolk County, that's going to bring in millions of dollars to Suffolk County to offset their costs, right? And hopefully save some jobs. That's a big one. That will come out in April. The other one I did is supplemental insurance. A lot of people don't know about this, but when you have your car insurance, you think you have a $500,000 personal injury.